Spider-Man 4 is absolutely 1000% happening, and I'm here to say it's 1000% happening before Secret Wars. It has to be one of those untitled Marvel movies in Phase 6. But the question is, what type of Spider-Man 4 movie are we going to get? Well, we have some direction to go here. We have leaks, we have rumors, we have theories on what could actually happen, because once again, we have a power struggle between Marvel and Sony. Marvel really wants to take Peter on that grounded level Spider-Man experience that a lot of fans want. But Sony wants him off in the multiverse. They want it to be a spectacle. They want to be part of the huge buildup that is going to be Secret Wars, which we know it's going to be, but they want it in Spider-Man 4. So what will we end up getting as Spider-Man fans? Welcome to the multiverse, everybody. Jimmy here. Do me a favor. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you turn those notifications on, drop a like on the video. We cover Marvel content on the daily, plus some DC and TV shows mixed in there as well. And do me a favor, leave me a comment, ask me questions, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to talk about when it comes to the video topics. I definitely read all the comments. Now, let's get into this. There are 3 untitled Marvel movies on the Phase 6 release schedule. One of those, like I said, has to be Spider-Man 4. There's no way Sony and Marvel don't push something out for him. He has to be there, right? He's one of the biggest draws to movie theaters, and he is a huge part of Secret Wars. No Way Home, still one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And earlier this year, Sony re-released all the Spider-Man movies back in theaters for the company's anniversary, and apparently all of the Spider-Man re-releases made a boatload of money. The Raimi trilogy in particular did really well on its re-release, despite it being limited in theaters and not showing over the weekend. So Sony definitely wants Spider-Man back on the big screen as soon as possible. Now, Marvel is, of course, going to want Tom Holland's Spider-Man as a major player in the Avengers moving forward. So they are also motivated to get Spider-Man 4 through production as quickly as they can, especially since we are now slowly crawling towards the next Avengers movie, which is Avengers Doomsday, which Holland has to be in. There's no way the MCU moves forward without Tom Holland's Spider-Man, meaning they need a Spider-Man movie to come out before Avengers Doomsday. They have to reestablish his place in the MCU. It has to happen. So No Way Home, you already know. It left Spidey at a full reset. Nobody remembers his identity. He has no friends. He's working with his homemade suit without any Stark technology. Many people think this means he's going to be reestablished in Spider-Man 4 as more of the street-level hero, which I personally think would be awesome because that's where Spider-Man shines the brightest. He's good in the big team-up movies, yes, and that's where we've had him the entire time, pretty much. And with all the fancy tech out there, it's fun. But the best versions of Spider-Man, the best stories are the ones where he's just a kid doing his best to keep his neighborhood safe. So there are insider reports claiming that there is a ton of drama behind the scenes of Spider-Man 4 because, like we talked about, Marvel and Kevin Feige want to do a street-level Spider-Man. Sony wants Spider-Man 4 to be big, explosive, a spectacle. Basically, No Way Home again because they love those numbers, meaning they want another Spider-Man movie with a multiverse plot. They want to be able to plug Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back in as many times as they can. And you know Marvel wants those 2 in Secret Wars as well. Now, Feige seems to want to keep Spider-Man street level and possibly even create an alliance between him and Daredevil. I think that would be awesome since Charlie Cox is back as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, and the total reset on Daredevil Born Again is reportedly going really well. So in case you didn't know, Daredevil Born Again was restarted from scratch a while back, with Kevin Feige apparently demanding that the new series basically just be season 4 of the Netflix show. And all the leaks so far of this new version, they're really, really good. And now that we've had Deadpool and Wolverine as a rated R movie just blast through the box office, Kevin and company are really comfortable going with that dark, gritty, more violent type MCU project. It looks promising. So if MCU Spider-Man becomes more involved with that dark, gritty, visceral, street-level story of Daredevil, we're talking something awesome. Now, Daredevil is supposed to appear as a major character in the upcoming animated Spider-Man show, so Kevin Feige definitely wants the 2 characters to interact. Now, whether or not he gets his way into the live action, that's a different story, because Sony ultimately decides what happens with live action Spidey. And Sony ultimately has the movie rights to Spider-Man, so at the end of the day, what they say kind of goes. I mean, Kevin Feige may be frustrated with Sony wanting Spider-Man 4 to be another No Way Home level movie, But if he doesn't convince them that street level is the way to go, Sony's Spider-Man 4 might be the one we end up with. And at that point, Spider-Man's role in the MCU could be completely changed. Me personally, just find a middle ground, guys. Come on. Get Daredevil involved with him as a sidekick. Make it a little bit of multiversal if you want, because you would want Daredevil in the Secret Wars project as well. Just come on. Be buddies and make it work. If Sony refuses to let Marvel use Spider-Man as a street-level character, or possibly disagrees with how Marvel wants to use him as a major Avenger in the near future, it's very possible Marvel is forced to just write him out of the story, and everything would more or less go back to the way things were prior to Captain America Civil War, where Spider-Man doesn't exist. And with the ending of No Way Home effectively writing Spider-Man out of the MCU until he's reintroduced, there's a really big possibility the disagreements between Marvel and Sony end up retroactively making No Way Home Spidey's MCU finale. Now, I know nobody wants that. We don't even want to put that out into the universe because we don't want that to happen, but it's really hard not to look back and think the writing of No Way Home left them with that golden parachute, left them with that out of nobody remembering. And just in case, maybe they thought, you know what? Who knows what Sony would try to do here? And that's kind of their back door out of it. It would suck on so many levels, and it would be completely just, I don't even know how to say it. Shame on Sony. Shame on all of them if it happens, because at the end of the day, fans want Spider-Man. And they own Spider-Man, but the fans are the ones that make Spider-Man what he is. They're the ones that buy the comics. They're the ones that buy the video games. They're the ones that buy the tickets and go to the box office. Now, Sony Spider-Verse is a laughingstock because of Madam Web and Morbius. That doesn't mean it isn't financially successful. The Venom movies make a lot of money. The animated Spider-Verse movies are huge. Sony actually has bargaining leverage here a little bit. This isn't like back in the 2010s where Sony wasn't exactly making any money with Spidey anymore. Sony Spider-Man movies are actually successful in the terms of money. So they may demand more creative control over MCU Spidey, which could be a massive problem for whatever Marvel Studios has planning for him. So we will have to wait and see. But if that scenario doesn't happen, and we do get Spider-Man 4, which I am very confident we are going to, and we're going to see him long into the MCU, then how does the plot go for Spider-Man 4? Well, let's just talk street level. Let's say we do get our street level one, and here's kind of an idea of what's floating around out there. Kingpin is the guy. He's the mayor, governor, whatever you want to call him, and basically he is running everything, and he puts bounties out on people like Spider-Man and Daredevil, trying to get other villains to take them down. Now, the theories and the leaks out there are saying that we will get the symbiote suit. It's already there, and it could actually attach to Scorpion, which it did in the comics as well. It usually attaches to somebody before it finds its way to Peter. And then, spoiler alert, Peter dies fighting somebody somehow, but the symbiote bonds with him, and he comes back to life. And there we have our black suit Spidey. Because if we are leading the Secret Wars with Spider-Man in tow, he's got to be in the black suit. That's the comic run. That's the most expensive comic. That is issue number 8 of Secret Wars. The black Spidey suit. It's you can't not have it. You really, really can't. And then the big question is, where's Miles? Because Miles needs introduced into the MCU if he's going to be part of that moving forward. And we're going to assume that that's where he's going to be and not Sony Spider-Verse because, once again, Madam Web, Morbius. Anyway, there is the rumor that he will show up and be younger than Peter. And then it will be the whole kind of flip-flop thing where Tony was the mentor and Peter was the student. Now Peter's the mentor and Miles is the student. May not even get a suit yet if he does show up at all. And it may just be a cameo or a mention once again. But sooner than later, they need to establish Miles in whatever universe they're going to do. I do know Tom has like contracts set up and he's got like 3 team up movies after Secret Wars, I think too. So we're probably going to see him into the soft reset of the MCU, but he's definitely going to be turning the mantle over to Miles at some point. And then it is rumored that Black Cat will appear in the movie, which really throws a wrench in things. I know everybody wants him to get back with MJ. But Black Cat has been a love interest multiple times in the Spider-Man comics, and that could really be interesting to see how that one plays out. So, in recap, Spider-Man 4 is coming. It is. Sony and Marvel will figure it out. Kevin and whoever's in charge over at Sony will sit down. They'll play some cards, they'll laugh about things, and they'll count all their money, and they'll make it happen. The question is, Are they going to find a middle ground for that street level Spider-Man a lot of us want and that cosmic multiverse Spider-Man that the box offices want? We'll have to wait and see. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.